Hi, I'm Keith Cooper from Northlight Images, and in this short video I'm going to talk about this, which is the black and white test image that we've got available on the Northlight Images website. It's available free for download for non-commercial use, and it's specifically designed to help people improve their black and white printing. Here's the image printed at 13" by 19" or A3+. You don't have to print it at A4 or any particular size. You can print it at whatever you like. First of all, look at this grayscale at the bottom. That should be nice and clean between white to black. There should be no banding. There should be no colours visible. So it should look a nice neutral grey right the way across. An even quicker way of finding that out is to look at this bullseye pattern here. Now this will show as concentric rings any problems in non-linearity, and by non-linearity I mean non-smooth gradation between black and white. So these two are the quick test of is the printer any good. There are finer detail looking at highlights in this gradation pattern here, and you have a fine detail pattern here. The fine detail pattern goes from fine detail that's very light to fine detail that's very dark. Now you may not be able to see fine detail at the very highest level or at the very lowest level, but if you can't see fine detail in this area here, and certainly not in any of this area, there's something wrong with your printer setup. Remember, you have to print this image as a normal photo. It is not a profiling target or anything special like that. You print it as you would a normal black and white photo, using whatever software you would choose for your printing. Other areas in the photographs, there should be some detail in the spit of land here. Shouldn't be solid black. Likewise, there should be some detail in the roof of the structure here. And as a very quick test as to whether your shadows are open enough, whether the blacks are scrunched up at all, is to have a look at the lettering here. If you can easily read my name, Keith Cooper, here on the print, then the contrast is fine at the blacks end, because the text is pure black and the area around it approaches black. So that shows that you've got detail in your shadows. Obviously you can check for detail in highlights, in other parts of the image, but in general, you look at the quality of the photographs. Now remember, when you print, it's up to you to decide for your image what tonal variation you want. So you use an image like this to see that your printer is actually working okay. Then when you know your printer's working okay, when you print, and if your print comes out wrong, then you know it's your fault. You know it's not a setup for the print or anything that you've done wrong. There are a few other special areas on this area. So we have these grid patterns, which are used for checking margins. We also have this pattern here. Now this varies depending on how you want to measure information from this print. You don't actually have to measure anything to be able to use it. A quick look at these pictures should give you a lot of information about whether your black and white print setup is any good. However, if you want to take it a bit further, and I've got loads of articles on the website that go into details of how these measurements are made and what use you make of them, we have simple 21 grayscale patch set here. Now you could measure this with a scanner, or you could measure it with a spectrophotometer or any other equipment that you've got. There are lots of different ways, but essentially this is a 21 step or 5% gradation. Now I've got other versions of the test image, and these are also available on the Northlight site. So we have one here with a 51 step gradient. Now it's not always true that taking more precise measurements helps you get better data for when you're looking at linearization of prints here, but this is a 51 step version that I use for some testing. And here is a 21 step version formatted in a different way. However, you'll notice that in this image, I've actually got another image with it. Now, this one prints out at A3. This image here, it's a viaduct I took a photograph of in Leicestershire. But what I'm looking for is that I can see proper detail in all the shadow brickwork here. If the print comes out and this comes out solid black, it's wrong. Now, all that information is here, and that's what I normally do to check. However, I add another picture with it just to do an additional test. Anyway, that's the test image. It's meant to be very easy, very quick to use. Obviously, you don't have to use the measuring parts of it, but the basic image itself is something that I can print. I can look at a print and go, that's good, that's bad, or it may need a bit of work on it. It's a great way of testing a new printer, which is why I created it. The file itself available on the Northlight Images website for download, say free for non-commercial use. There are lots of other test images, colour test images as well on the site, and there's a link in the details attached to this video. So I hope you found this useful. Thanks very much, and goodbye.